The Huntsman Winter's War, 2016. Movie synopsis by Zillur Movies Recapped. Narrator asks, "What does the mirror show you?" We are then shown snippets of the first film with a basic recap of Ravenna's defeat. This film is a prequel and also a sequel. Now we see Ravenna, Charlize Theron, with her new husband the king on their wedding night, and they are playing chess. She kills him and then goes to the mirror. Then we are at the funeral where we see Ravenna and her sister Freya, Emily Blunt. She is making eyes with the Duke of Blackwood, Colin Morgan. Of course Ravenna sees this. The sisters are playing chess and discussing this romance. The Duke is promised to another and Freya says he does not love her, only Freya. Ravenna then mentions that all of the women of their line are gifted and Freya has not found hers yet, and also tells Freya that she is with child. Freya is surprised but happy and finds out she will have a daughter. Months later Freya has her daughter. She is a few weeks old now. She receives a letter from the Duke. He wants to elope and run away with her and their child. As she goes to meet him, she notices in her room that flames are everywhere. She runs to her child. It is too late. The room is charred and it seems that her lover the Duke has killed their daughter, and he said he had no choice. Freya, destroyed by the loss, freezes him and he shatters. She's found her gift. She now leaves and strikes out on her own to the north. Freya becomes the most feared queen of the north, which is now a frozen land. She conquers many surrounding lands with her huntsmen. We see how the huntsmen kill all of the adults and take only the children, who are now to be trained to be huntsmen. Since she cannot raise her own child, she raises armies. We see a new batch of children and she tells them how lucky they are to know no suffering again. She sees a young boy crying and she tells him, "Love is a lie," and emphatically tells all of the children, "Do not love. It is the law," and she demands loyalty. We then see the children are being rigorously trained with blade and arrow. Freya watches the training by using a frozen owl as her spy. The two best are Eric and Sarah. She says that she never misses with her arrow, confidently. Now they are older, Eric, now Chris Hemsworth, and Sarah, Jessica Chastain. A new batch of children are being brought in and Tull, Soap Derisu, the young boy the queen talked to, is being rude to them. Eric sees a young girl hiding in the wagon and asks her what's wrong. She reveals she's terrified of the queen. He asks her to make a mean face and she does. He then reveals to keep making her war face, and then the queen will never know what you are thinking. Later we see Eric is in the castle and Sarah grabs him as they are in love. Later they are in the hot springs. Sarah then takes off her necklace and places it on Eric, as it is her most prized treasure from her mother. Now they are married. They then make plans to run away and agree to meet in the courtyard. When they arrive, all of the huntsmen are there and the queen as well. She used her owl to spy, of course. Freya is disgusted at their betrayal and tells them to go to each other if they can. Each must fight off many other of the huntsmen. It appears they are about to win and go to each other. Then Freya puts up an ice wall between them. Then we see Tull kill Sarah and Eric tries desperately to punch the wall and get to her, busting up his hands. Then he gets knocked out. The queen says to get rid of him and Tull throws him into the river. Narrator tells us that Freya's empire grew while Ravenna's fell. It is now 7 years later. We see Eric is putting wild flowers at a memorial for Sarah. William, Sam Claflin, shows up telling Eric that the queen, Snow White, is going insane from the mirror as it was whispering to her. They sent the mirror to the sanctuary. They must get it to the sanctuary since the mirror is still powerful. Eric grabs his axe and throws it at the frozen owl was watching them and destroys it, but Freya knows. Eric then tells William to make haste and get the mirror to safety. We see that Freya is in her throne room and many frozen figures are there. She then makes plans to get the mirror. Now Eric is tracking the party taking the mirror and finds all of the Snow White soldiers are dead and seemingly killed each other, but one has an arrow made out of gold and diamonds. Now Eric has two dwarfs with him, Nyan, Nick Frost, and Griff, Rob Brydon, and advises them they need to get off the road. Now they are in a tavern and Eric is trying to find out information about the soldiers. Meanwhile Nyan hits on a bar wench and is not successful. Eric asks why the dwarfs do not date female dwarfs. They both say that the females are ugly and Eric wonders where the baby dwarfs come from. The boys say only if they got drunk. Some men approach Eric and Nyan makes big talk of Eric as the Huntsman. These men reveal themselves as Huntsman as well. So, of course a fight ensues. As the fight is now outside, it looks like Eric is about to lose. Then an arrow shoots through the hand of the Huntsman about to kill him. The hooded figure fights off all of the Huntsmen and it is revealed to be Sarah. Eric is shocked to see her and she slugs him. She has the two dwarfs and Eric tied up. It turns out that Eric saw a false image by the Queen and Sarah saw Eric turn tail and run and not even fight for her. Sarah was put in the dungeon for 7 years. She is bitter, of course, and it looks like she is gonna kill him. Eric then says if he is going to die by her hand but gets to see her face then he is happy. She then kicks him in the groin. The four now continue on the quest, and they are then captured by two female dwarfs in a net trap. The first female is called Mrs. Bromwell, Sheridan Smith, and the second one Dorina, Alexandra Roach, who is a little dim but sweet. Mrs. Bromwell seems to be sweet on Eric, but really wants to kill Nyan and Griff. Eric gives the arrow made of gold and diamonds to her and she relents, since Eric says he is fond of the boys. She then tells everyone that the arrow comes from the goblins, who are master thieves and very greedy, and that is where they are headed to next. The girls, of course, want all of the loot that they can carry as payment, no problem for the others. When they get to the goblins' territory, they can see that the mirror has already made them kill each other as well, and they can tell that their blood is made of tar. They find the mirror and Eric tells the dwarfs to cover it up and not look into it. Then a goblin comes after them. The two huntsmen fight and kill him. Sarah softens somewhat when she sees that Eric still has the necklace. He informs her that he has never taken it off. As they go to leave, a horde of goblins attack them. Eric tells Sarah to go as he'll fight them off. He cuts a rope bridge that crosses some caustic water and fights on. Sarah decides to shoot them with a flaming arrow since their blood is made of tar. They all explode. Somehow, Eric has made it across the water. Perhaps the explosion propelled him over. Eric asks if Sarah was crying. He smirks. The 6 of them decide to wait until morning to go to the sanctuary. At night, Sarah and Eric are talking. She tells him she's done unforgivable things. He says they all have, and they embrace and make love. In the morning, an ill wind seems to be coming and the mirror is slightly uncovered and whispers to Eric. He pulls his blade as Sarah has awoken. He asks her, "Have you been true?" Frost suddenly appears everywhere and the Queen and her huntsmen arrive. It is revealed that Sarah has been working for Freya all along. Doreen and Nyan make a stand and tell Freya she cannot have the mirror and she freezes them. Then her men take the mirror and the two frozen dwarfs. Freya then orders Sarah to kill Eric and she then takes her arrow and shoots him. As the Queen makes her exit, Gree, FF and Mrs. Bromwell go to Eric as he obviously is dead. Then he bolts upright and says how much that hurt. He realizes that Sarah shot him in the pendant of the necklace and he knows, she never misses. Freya asks the mirror who is the fairest. Then suddenly Ravenna morphs out of it, who is not dead, nor alive. She then informs Freya that her army will help her retake Snow's kingdom in the south as Freya owes her anyway. Eric sends the two dwarfs in and they are caught, however they handle the one guard easily. Eric scales the mountain and slides down the roofs, nearly falling to his death. However, his axe saves him. He then tells himself this was a stupid plan. He is intent on killing Freya, who is now telling her children about the dangerous mission on taking on Snow White. Her heart is not in as she tells them of this plan. She has doubts about Ravenna. Now Eric takes his shot. All of the sudden Ravenna appears and catches it, then tells Eric how much she's missed him. Freya cannot believe that she has been betrayed by love again. She stammers in how to punish them. Ravenna makes her save face by putting them to death. The other huntsmen call Eric and Sarah traitors. Eric tells them that Freya is the one by taking them all from their families. Tull seems swayed by Eric, as they are about to be killed. Eric tells Sarah, "Stand or fall together." They both grasp each other's hand. Then Tull, who is to execute them, frees them instead. As Ravenna is about to kill them all, Freya protects her children by putting up an ice wall once again. Freya wants to know how she owes her sister. Ravenna then reveals she made the Duke kill their daughter. We then see that mirror revealed to Ravenna that Freya's daughter will be far more beautiful than her. Freya then tells her that she loved her daughter so much they then fight. Freya is wounded. Ravenna then attacks the Huntsman. Freya goes to embrace her sister then tries to freeze her. Ravenna then wounds her sister again. Ravenna tries to kill Eric and Freya, who is mortally wounded, then touches the ground to freeze the wall where the mirror is. Eric then sees his chance to strike it with his axe and Ravenna then crumbles to the ground. As Eric and Sarah embrace, Freya says, "How lucky you are," and dies. Many of the people who were frozen are released and everyone is joyous. The narrator then tells us, even after buried under snow and ice, love survives. The end. The Huntsman. Winter's War is a 2016 American fantasy action-adventure film. Both a prequel and sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman, 2012. It takes place before and after the events of the first film. The film is the directorial debut of Cedric Nicholas Troyan, who was a visual effects supervisor and second unit director on the first film. It is written by Craig Mazin and Evan Spiliotopoulos, based on characters created by Evan Daugherty, which like the first film were inspired by the fairy tale, Snow White, compiled by the Brothers Grimm, as well as The Snow Queen, by Hans Christian Andersen. Reprising their roles from the first film, the cast includes Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron, Nick Frost, and Sam Claflin. The film also introduced new characters played by Emily Blunt, Jessica Chastain, and Rob Brydon. The Huntsman. Winter's War premiered in Hamburg on March 29, 2016, and was released in the United States on April 22, 2016, by Universal Pictures. The film received generally negative reviews from critics, with praise for the visuals and cast but many feeling the film was unnecessary. It grossed $165 million worldwide against an estimated $115 million production budget. Summaries: Eric and fellow warrior Sarah, raised as members of Ice Queen Freya's army, try to conceal their forbidden love as they fight to survive the wicked intentions of both Freya and her sister Ravenna. Evil sorceress Queen Ravenna's powers allow her to know that her younger sister Freya, whose powers have not yet emerged, is not only involved in an illicit affair with an already elsewhere engaged nobleman Andrew, but is also pregnant with his child. Sometime after Freya gives birth to a baby girl, Freya discovers that Andrew not only reneged on his promise of elopement with her but also murdered their child. In a grief-fueled rage, her broken heart freezes over and she kills him with her sudden emergence of powers, the elemental control of ice. Devastated by a cruel and terrible betrayal, the evil sorceress Queen Ravenna's once kind younger sister, Freya, renounces love and sees her dormant magical powers emerge. Transformed into an all-powerful ice witch with a frozen heart, Freya retreats to her new kingdom in the north, devoting all her energy to raising a large and invincible army of orphans from the conquered lands, her mighty huntsmen. However, in this icy realm where love is a sin, two dauntless warriors, Eric and Sarah, dare to defy the queen's decree and fall for each other, only to face the disastrous consequences. Now, more and more, the sinister black magic that imbues wicked Ravenna's gold magic mirror becomes stronger. Is there a way to stop the advent of the indefatigable dark adversary? Plot: evil sorceress Queen Ravenna's powers allow her to know that her younger sister Princess Freya, whose powers have not yet emerged, is not only involved in an illicit affair with nobleman Andrew, but is also pregnant with his child. Freya gives birth to a baby girl, but later discovers that Andrew has murdered their child. In grief-fueled rage, her broken heart freezes over and she kills him with her sudden emergence of powers, the elemental control of ice. Freya runs away, building herself a new kingdom in the icy mountains in the north. Ruling as the much-feared Ice Queen, she orders parents to be killed and their children to be abducted and brought to her castle so they can be trained to be an army of huntsmen to conquer for her, and she teaches them to avoid the pain of love that she suffered. Despite the training, two of her best huntsmen, Eric and Sarah, fall in love. Sarah claims Eric in marriage by giving him her mother's medallion necklace. They plan to escape to a free life together but are discovered by Freya. Sarah is apparently killed while Eric is beaten and thrown into a river. 7 years later, after Ravenna's death, in the first film, Queen Snow White falls ill after hearing Ravenna's magic mirror beckon her. Because of its dark magic, she orders it to be taken to Sanctuary, the magical place that sheltered her during the events leading to Ravenna's defeat, where the mirror's magic can be contained. Snow White's husband, William, informs Eric that the soldiers tasked with carrying the mirror went missing en route. Knowing its dark magic can make Freya stronger, Eric agrees to try and retrieve the mirror. Snow White's dwarf ally Nyan and his half-brother Griff accompany him. They travel to the last location of the soldiers. Eric discovers they killed one another with their own weapons. The trio are attacked by Freya's huntsman and are rescued by Sarah, revealed to be alive. Sarah explains that she was imprisoned by Freya all this time, and only escaped recently. She has not forgiven Eric, thinking that he abandoned her. They decipher that Eric was shown an illusion of Sarah's death, while she was made to see him running rather than fighting to help. Eric manages to convince her that Freya tricked them. The next day, the group go to the forest of the goblins who stole the mirror. During the fight, Sarah notices that Eric still wears the necklace she gave him. They retrieve the mirror, and after a fight in which Eric protects Sarah and she saves him, the group makes it out unharmed. That night, Eric and Sarah have sex. The next morning, Freya attacks and reveals Sarah has been loyal to her all along. Sarah shoots an arrow at Eric, who appears to die. Freya departs with the mirror but is unaware that Sarah purposely hit Eric's medallion necklace, protecting him from dying. At her palace, Freya asks the mirror who is the fairest of them all, resurrecting Ravenna, who became one with the mirror when Snow White vanquished her. Eric attempts to assassinate Freya, but is stopped by Ravenna. Ravenna begins to attack the Huntsman, and Freya, who has come to regard the Huntsman as her own children, protects them with an ice wall. As Eric, Sarah, and the Huntsman climb over the wall to retrieve the mirror and help Freya, the sisters argue. Ravenna lets slip that she's responsible for Freya's powers. Suspicious, Freya forces Ravenna, who as the mirror's captive spirit must answer her summoner's questions truthfully, to reveal that the mirror had told her Freya's child would become more beautiful than Ravenna. Ravenna then enchanted Andrew to kill the baby so she could remain the fairest of them all. Outraged, Freya turns on her sister but is impaled by her. With her remaining strength, she freezes the mirror and Eric shatters it, destroying Ravenna. As Freya dies, she smiles, both at Sarah and Eric, and at a vision of her younger self holding her baby. With Freya's death, those who had been imprisoned by her magic are set free. Eric, Sarah and the Huntsman look forward to a new future, with Eric and Sarah happy to have a free life together for the first time.